most of you know me, or you know my name but not my face, or my face but not my name, or you get emails from me incessantly telling you about events and student accomplishments and begging you to come to this and all that. So if you're in this room, that means you are on my favored list. And without further ado, I want to introduce Rachel Pereira, who is the Vice President of Equity and Inclusion.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so very much for being here. As Candace shared, my name is Rachel Pereira. I've served as the VP of Equity and Inclusion here for 2 years, and I am just thrilled that this is our second Lavender Graduation. Please clap for that. That is an amazing feat, and I am so grateful to all of the people who put in their time and their energy to make this happen today. I walked in, and the first thing I said to Candace was, "We have deans here," because I saw the back of Mike Simon's head, and they said, "There's more than one." And so I am incredibly grateful for the recognition and acknowledgement for so many from the university today for being here and acknowledging the importance of all of us on this campus community. Certainly, I think for a long time, it's undeniable that St. John's has seen the LGBTQ community on our campus. And I think now with events like this, we're saying we will also be heard. And so I am grateful for the people who have the courage to stand up to be heard. I'm grateful for the people who have the courage to say we're going to push past anyway, even when it's not something that we've done traditionally, because we can start to make new traditions. And so I'm grateful and thankful for that. But I am particularly thankful today for the dedication and hard work of our own Dr. Roberts. Candace modestly did not share that they were instrumental in the creation of our LGBTQ Center on campus, which opened officially last year. But while that center opened last year, there were years of work before that to make that come to fruition. And for the deans in the room, Candace did that as a non-tenured professor, and so you know what that means. That means that a lift for like this for a tenured professor is actually for a non-tenured professor. And so Candace's work, certainly with the assistance of others, but Candace is the one with us here today, has been invaluable. The work of the center obviously not only tells our students that they are welcome here, but it tells everyone in our community that they are welcome here, our employees as well. Because before today, before the center, there were countless LGBTQ members of our community that came and went and were told to be quiet. But now, because of the work of those people who put themselves out in vulnerable situations like Candace, we can tell all of the members of our community, we can tell those alum who we had told before perhaps, shh, you can come back and you can tell us who you are. And hopefully we are sending the message to everyone in our community that it is safe and you are free to be exactly who you are. And so I'm grateful to those people who continue to do those work, and I'm honored to be in your presence, and certainly so blessed to have Candace at the helm of this work. And so thank you. You will hear a little later from our very own Sarah Kelly as well. Sarah's efforts with pushing and her dedication to this work for our students and our employees, I think gone unrecognized for such a long time, but certainly not unnoticed by all of the people who she has touched. I am forever grateful for that work as well, because without you continuing to push, I certainly know that there are many people whose voices and whose participation on our campus we would have lost but for you. And so thank you so much for that. And it'll certainly be all of our honor in a few minutes to hear from you. So thank you, Sarah. And Are you going to introduce my friend, Father Rooney, or do I?
Go ahead and do it. Now you're already up there.
It is my pleasure and honor to introduce my friend and our Executive Vice President of Mission, Father Eden Rooney. Thank you.
You might ask, what does an Executive Vice President for Mission do? One of the things that I do and have been doing since I got here 2 years ago, we're kind of like the class of 2 years ago, actually, when you think about it, is helping people understand that expressions of inclusion and belonging on a radical level are an expression of what it means to be both a university and a Catholic university. And that's done in the midst of tremendous external and sometimes internal pressure. We should be absolutely thrilled to bits that we have a leader like Father Shanley here who's not afraid to stand in front of that pressure and keep articulating what we've all agreed to is what we would aspire to be as a university. Part of that is creating a welcoming environment for everyone, but part of it's also changing the way we think about who we are. And so even changing on the level of how we pray. And that's to acknowledge the fact that there is a variety of religious experience on this campus. But all of us also have the right and the duty to claim our own, and whatever that is. And so you probably don't even notice the subtle shift that's been going on, even training of ministers on the campus to think about who's present when you gather and when you pray. And so I don't want you to analyze the prayer as I do it. I'd like you to enter into it as the way you can. But I just want to let you know that that's part of who we are as a university, is changing the way we do things, not just the way we think about things. Part of it is structural. Part of it is language, part of it is art. There's just a range of ways of saying to everyone, us, if I may be a little funny, is the only pronoun that counts. And we'll find ourselves if the us is true. And we'll be denied if the us is not true. And so the goal is to make, when we say the St. John's University community, everyone says, yep, that's me. So now let's, after that long-winded introduction, let's take a moment and center ourselves to be able to celebrate well together. O eternal love which grounds our lives, as we gather together as colleagues and friends working together for the good that you desire, we invite you once again to make your presence known. May the hope of new and abundant life color our days. May the promise of your presence working in us lift our hearts, our minds, and our bodies. May the love you have revealed to us shape our conduct. May the unmerited forgiveness you have showered upon us nourish and temper our hearts. May the trust you have placed in us as members of the St. John's community be the trust we show to one another and to our colleagues here and in the future. Make us firm in our callings to call forth the best in those with whom we share life. Each one of us, O God, here has a relationship with the you of their personal traditions and faiths. In this moment, listen to them as they ask you what they need. In the name you have revealed to me, Jesus, I ask all these graces for my friends gathered here, you who are Father and Mother of us all, this day and forever and ever. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Father Rooney, and thank you, Rachel. One of the many perks of doing this work is that I get to invite a lot of my favorite people to be in a room together, and a lot of my favorite people are in this room, including those up here and many who are graduating and many who are here to celebrate with us. And so I had a mentor who early on in my academic career said, you know, one of the things I don't like about academics is they take themselves a little too seriously sometimes. And I think we should take our lives seriously and we should take our work seriously, but maybe we shouldn't take ourselves quite so seriously. And I try to live by that. And so I just want to make a kind of proclamation about this graduation, which is that we're taking you, graduates, very seriously. We're taking your accomplishments very seriously. We're taking the work that brings us all together here very seriously. But we're also gonna have fun today. So over the next few weeks, you will be in a bunch of ceremonies and you'll get a bunch of recognitions. And many of those ceremonies will be necessarily sometimes a little more formal and stiff, but I don't want this one to be that, and I get to decide. Let's have a good time, and I really thank my colleagues for coming and for supporting us and for supporting the work that you do. The next person that I want to bring up, I was so super honored to be able to invite to this Lavender Graduation ceremony for many reasons. This person has a really long resume at St. John's University and already not that much time here, including Vice President for Student Success and Retention Strategy, previously Assistant Dean for Graduate Studies at the St. John's Law School, previously Vice Dean for Administration, many more leadership capacities. And I've been on committees with this person, working in groups and task forces with her, and I'm always amazed at the amount of work that she manages to do and at the amount of projects she takes on. Anytime something good happens on this campus, I am not surprised to see this person's name attached to it, and that is true. Anytime I think, wow, I'm so glad this happened, Sarah's been involved in some capacity usually, and so many of the most impactful changes that have happened at St. John's have happened because of her. And an anecdote that she might kill me for, but I have the microphone right now. So when I first met Sarah, I was a new faculty member on this campus and was on one of many committees that she was on, one of few that I was on at the time. And I met Sarah and I met another one of our colleagues, Matthew Pucciarelli, who's not here, but who has contributed to so much amazing work. And so his name deserves to be said at this graduation too. We were all introducing ourselves in kind of an informal capacity, and I said who I was and what I did. And Sarah and some of our other colleagues were saying, oh, that's really great because, you know, we do this work and we do that work, and that's how we kind of found each other. And I believe it was on that occasion that Sarah referred to herself, or was referred to maybe by Matt, that the two of them on St. John's campus were the head gays. And I was both in awe that there could even be such a thing on this campus. That was before I did all the things that the people here have talked about me doing. And I also immediately was like, I want to be them, I want to be with them, I need to get to know them, I gotta come up. So if ever somebody should, in many years down the road, describe me in such a way, it would be because Sarah and people like Sarah had that mantle first. And so with all the various roles that Sarah has had, one commonality between all of these is that she's always remained focused on diversity, inclusivity, and particularly on creating and maintaining on this campus a student-centered, equitable experience. And that is something Father Rooney talked about it. Here's a person who walks the talk. Here's a person who does the things that we all write brochures about. And so I could not be happier to welcome to this ceremony and to speak to us a little bit today, Ms. Sarah Jean Kelly.
I can't live up to all of that. I'm just going to say right now, I hope that's being recorded because I'd love for my family to hear that. If they could only see No, thank you very, very much. Good afternoon. It's really a pleasure to be here in front of such a beautiful crowd. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Sarah Kelly. I'm pretty sure I didn't call myself the head gay, but I suppose I'll wear that title for today, though I think tomorrow it goes to Candace. And it's really a tremendous honor to be here with all of you on this wonderful occasion. When I look out and see the faces of so many students I care so much about, I feel just incredible pride, and it's been such a delight to get to know you and work with you during your time at St. John's. I had the privilege of attending last year's Lavender Graduation and hearing Matthew Gibbs' remarks. They were phenomenal, so I know I have really big shoes to fill. And I want to begin by offering my congratulations to all of you for all of the effort that got you here and for this fantastic achievement. As any graduation speaker must, I have a few pieces of advice that have helped me and that I hope will be of help to some of you. I want to offer encouragement that you should try and recreate the community and camaraderie that we feel right now in this space in your next endeavors, whatever they may be. And I want you to know that each of you deserve to feel accepted and safe and seen and valued for everything that you are in all of the spaces that you occupy. I will also admit, and I wrote this before I heard Candace's introduction, so now it's extreme, but I'm really feeling some imposter syndrome here. Some of you may know something about that, but it seems odd to me to be giving remarks at an event like this. I can assure you I am not someone who has life all figured out. That being said, I can share a little bit about what I have figured out over the past 40 years and a little bit about my St. John's journey in the hopes that some of it resonates with you. I joined St. John's a few years before many of you, back in 2016, when I first came to work at the law school. I was out, my wife and I were married, and we were expecting our first child. I'd been out at work for years at a different Catholic university, and when I was married, my wedding announcement was in the New York Times. No need to Google it immediately, but I can assure you I look a lot younger in that picture. So for people who were looking to learn more about me, the fact that I was a proud member of the LGBTQ community wasn't difficult to find. When I got to work, I came here and met a lot of the other gay folks at the law school and quickly set out to connect with community members around the university. I soon learned that many LGBTQ Johnnies didn't feel comfortable being out at work and that there was sort of an unofficial underground listserv that we used to communicate with each other to arrange the occasional lunch, usually somewhere off campus. It's a lot less cool and punk than it might sound. To be candid, initially it was a little disconcerting. It seemed like the community was small and lacking in the stability that I would have hoped for. Despite that, even in the early days, I made some dear friends, people who are important people in my life. They're my people, and some of them are here with us today. Though it seemed at times like our community on campus was small, we nurtured it. We kept in touch, looked out for one another, celebrated each other's successes, and commiserated with each other on tough days. I gave out a lot of chocolate, which, as those of you who know me know, is one of my favorite ways to solve problems. And over time, our community grew. It grew in number, and it grew stronger. And while my experience is specific to being an employee, the very same was true for our student community. In fact, the students were doing the very same thing. Organizations like Spectrum were established and grew, creating their own traditions and signature events. And Outlaws, which already was in existence under a different name, was revitalized, becoming the incredible organization that it is today. Ultimately, the small, committed group of LGBTQ employees established the university's first employee resource group, holding events on campus and providing a supportive network for community members throughout St. John's. And as you can see by so many members who are here today, it's no longer a small group of 2 or 3 people, but rather a network that spans departments throughout the university. And similarly, the LGBTQ+ Center was established on campus, creating the very first physical home and hub for our community at St. John's. Over the past 8 years, we have come so far, and St. John's has come so far. And it's done so because of the visible community created like the LGBTQ folks like you and me. And so that brings me to my first piece of advice. Find, build, and develop your community. At various points throughout your life, you may feel alone. You may not see the immediate connection to those around you, and that can feel like a terribly isolating experience. But when that happens, know that you can build your community. You can find your people, the ones who will support you, encourage you, be there for you, treat you like you deserve to be treated, and occasionally offer up a piece or 2 of chocolate. A small but mighty community can do almost anything. Second, do the same for yourself. Each of you are phenomenal graduates of the class of 2024 is extraordinary, and you deserve all the very best that life has to offer. And you should embrace the process of finding yourself, growing as a person, and continuing to develop your own humanity. By telling you to focus on yourself, I don't mean to be selfish or self-absorbed or self-interested. I can imagine this would be the very first commencement address to suggest those things. But I mean you should stay focused on who you are, who you seek to become, and stay true to that while continuing to grow and evolve as an individual. Learning and growing doesn't end when you graduate. I know this because I have learned so much from so many of you over the past few years. And that leads to my final point. While commencement can seem like an end, it is only a stop on a much longer journey. And the same is true for our community here at St. John's. Continued evolution is imperative. While so much has improved for our community at St. John's since I first came to campus, there is still much more to do. When I first came to campus in 2016, there weren't any gender-inclusive restrooms, and now there are several in a number of buildings around campus. But it isn't lost on me that there are none in this building, the hub of so much of our campus life and where we're holding this event today. It also isn't lost on me that the LGBTQ community continues to face opposition in the form of legal challenges and political backlash throughout our nation and worldwide. And so our work will continue on campus and in the wider world, as will yours. It gives me hope, though, to think of you, our incredible graduates, as being part of and leading the way in that important work. I can't wait to see what that will look like for each of you, although I already know it's going to be tremendous. And I hope that you'll stay in touch and continue to see what that work looks like for all of us who continue to work on that here at St. John's. So again, congratulations. I'm so proud of you, and I know we are all so very proud of you. Thank you.
Okay, everybody up here is tall besides me, so I'll just have to keep cranking this thing down. I had a little tight 5 that I was going to do, more jokes and things I was going to say about myself, but I won't, in the interest of time, getting to the even more fun part than hearing me talk. I did write a nice little letter to all of the graduates, which is inside of the program, so please do read that for homework. And it gives a lot of information that I think is useful to know about Lavender Graduation, and it also expresses my thoughts and feelings about why this ceremony is so important. So let's just get into talking about some more awards, because there are some people that I really am so thrilled to recognize, and just like Ms. Kelly said in her address, the crux of what we're able to do here at the LGBTQ Center, at Office of Equity and Inclusion, at all the different groups and units and everything that we do is really built on this community and the communities that everybody in this room have been part of and are still part of and will always be part of, because again, echoing the statements of our keynote speaker here, another thing to know about me is that once I have my hooks in you, once I have your contact information, I consider you part of my network forever. And so you will be hearing from me, and you should consider me the same. If you have my information, that means I want you to use it beyond this day and beyond St. John's and wherever your life takes you. And I am one of those people that if you ever invite me politely to do something, I will show up there. Ask people in this room who have gone on vacation with me. I will come if you invite me. So I want to give this first award, which is called the Bridge Builder Award. And the Bridge Builder Award is an award that really addresses all of these things that we've been talking about in regards to community and the work we can do together. The Bridge Builder Award honors a member of the St. John's community who has excelled at forming partnerships across various groups and units. A bridge builder is collaborative and sees the potential in bringing people together. Often in the case of the LGBTQ+ community, bridge builders are reaching out of our community and connecting to other shareholders, other allies, or even more crucially, those people outside of the LGBTQ+ community who are not yet allies of ours, right? That's how they become allies, is we connect to them. And this person has certainly done that and built so many bridges inside and outside of St. John's, connecting staff, faculty, students around shared interest in areas of social change. This person's been working at St. John's for over 25 years. Is it 27? Is that right? And has held a few different roles, is currently the Assistant Director for Academic Technology. He's a member of, as of now, as Sarah mentioned, the only employee resource group at St. John's University, which is the LGBTQ+ employee resource group. And though that group is kind of really coolly non-hierarchical, Gary has definitely, certainly been a leader in that group over the past few years. And I remember meeting him at various times across my time at St. John's University, even before we really started working together. And I really got to know him and got to laugh and smile every time I saw him, because he's always spinning a yarn of some trip that he's been on or something that happened to him. He always has these little jokes, and so he always makes me laugh and smile. I loved seeing him pop up on campus with his long beard, often recognizable, exposed tattoos. Sometimes he's wearing a harness, and he's another person that I just saw and I thought, that person is cool and I want to know them. I want them to be my people, and I made that happen. So I'm so thrilled also to say that last year, in addition to having our first Lavender Graduation, we marched as a group, as a St. John's group, under a St. John's banner in the Manhattan Pride March and in the Brooklyn Pride March, and that absolutely would not have happened without Gary, who was a driving force in both of those. By the way, we're doing it again this summer, so sign up and come with us to Brooklyn or Manhattan Pride. Of Gary, his colleagues have said, always hilarious, quick with a deadpan glance or a dry quip that keeps everyone laughing. I can attest to that. They also said he does his work so well, so efficiently, so routinely, so reliably that he spends most of his time actually helping other people and doing so without being asked. That's a bridge builder. The other thing about bridge builders is that they understand that building a bridge means so many people will be able to cross that bridge. So many people will be able to walk across the bridges you've built long after you're gone. And so this award is doubly meaningful and doubly special because Gary is retiring this year. And oh my God, I'm not gonna get emotional on the first award. Gary's retiring this year, and so it's doubly appropriate that we and everybody who comes after us will get to walk across all those bridges that Gary has helped us build. I gratefully present the Bridge Builder Award to Gary Young. So the next award is the Outstanding Ally Award for someone who does not identify as being a member of the LGBTQ+ community. So with her permission, I've just outed this person as a straight. And that's okay. We do have a few straights among us today. You probably have straights in your lives and you don't even know it. But they're very special straights, and that's why they are here with us, and we are inclusive. So the Outstanding Ally Award is given to someone who continually educates themselves about other identities, even though those that they don't belong to. The Outstanding Ally educates themselves about experiences and is able to understand perspectives outside their own. Allies challenge their own discomforts and prejudices and take action around issues of institutional and social change. You have Irene to thank for this. And honestly, I couldn't say enough good things about her. One of the other things that I think, all the ways that you need somebody to be an ally, personally, professionally, as a member of this center team, this person is there. Because I know her so well, I know that right now she is just cringing in her seat and being like, oh my gosh, she doesn't like to take credit for her work. She's just there, always doing the work, always contributing, and never complaining and never trying to get the glory. She has added so much to my life, to my personal sanity that she has saved day after day. But more importantly than that, more importantly than just me and my perspective, because I learned that's a good ally, I think about other people's perspectives. She has added to the work that the LGBTQ Center has been able to do, and she has added so much to this campus, to this community of St. John's. Other colleagues have described her as responsible, approachable, always willing to help, so easy to talk to, and open. And that description could not be a better fit for somebody who is quite literally the face of the LGBTQ Center in many ways. When people come in the door with a problem, this person solves that problem, and that includes me. She solves so many problems for me. She's also potentially graduating next semester, though I've been in complete denial about this and about what it will mean to run the LGBTQ Center without her. She's a true ally in so many ways, but in short, she listens, she learns, and she teaches others about what it means, not just to talk about, but to practice allyship. I proudly present the Outstanding Ally Award to Irene Barless. All right, and last on this short list of awards is the Lavender Leader Award. This award is presented to a graduating student, whether undergraduate, graduate, or professional student, who displays the following characteristics: advocates for LGBTQ+ issues through education of others or within the realm of academic study, maintains excellence in academic efforts, demonstrates creative and productive approaches to addressing conflict and disparity, made meaningful contributions to students and to St. John's University writ large, also inspires and motivates concern for LGBTQ+ issues. The person who is receiving this award today exemplifies each of these qualities and more. Between Sarah and Rachel and the Lavender Leader Award recipient, you might get the impression that I hang out with a lot of lawyers, and I don't know what that says about me, but this person is also matriculating through the St. John's University School of Law, and I've been so fortunate to meet them, though I wish it had been earlier in their career at St. John's. We've formed collaborations between the law school, between Outlaws and Allies, the LGBTQ Center, and so many other units on this campus. And this person's resume, the list of activities, of projects, of leadership roles that he has inhabited truly boggles the mind. Not only does it make me really feel my age, my status as an aging queer in this community, but when I look at the list of things this person does, it makes me wonder if I ever had that much energy or capacity at any age. And I should say that, you know, just to name a few, and really we would be here all day if I named all of them, just to name a few, he serves on the Dean's Advisory Council. He's president of Outlaws and Allies, the organization which Sarah mentioned. He's the director of marketing and labor relations and employment law society. He's the articles and notes editor for the New York International Law Review, and I'm tired just saying these long lawyerly things that he's a part of. Over the time that I've known Alex, I keep discovering new talents and skills all the time that are so fun and surprising. I was fortunate to attend a musical review that the law school students put on, and I discovered that Alex is also a talented performer. They wrote and sang impeccably a hilarious but respectful song about the dean of the law school, who is with us here today. And I had the privilege of sitting right in front of Dean Simons and his wife during the review with tears streaming down my face at just the thoughtfulness and the fun and the impressive performances of Alex and their colleagues. So important to say that it's not just quantity with Alex, but it's quality. Everything is done with precision and excellence. His peers and colleagues and faculty mentors agree. Those who have worked with him said that he's a sterling exemplar of the quality of graduates from St. John's Law School. He will undoubtedly make a difference in law and in communities beyond, that they're a natural leader, an always active member of so many communities. They've worked tirelessly to raise money for various LGBTQ organizations and bring awareness to many charities and important issues. And as somebody who hypothetically has served as some kind of faculty mentor to this person, I think what I should say about him is that when I look at him and everything he does, he makes me want to get my shit together. So I enthusiastically present the Lavender Leader Award to Alexander Gonzalez. And for those of you who read the program, you know that you'll be hearing from Alex in just a couple, who has agreed to be the deliverer of student remarks for us. So we just have a couple more awards to give, and these awards are for graduating seniors, either undergraduate, graduate, or professional students who were nominated by faculty or staff members who wanted to recognize excellence in the LGBTQ+ community and their contributions, either in research or papers about the LGBTQIA+ communities. Either they've worked on projects or assisted faculty in these areas. They've excelled in courses that relate to LGBTQ studies or themes. They've achieved academic success through other modes and also identify as a member of the LGBTQIA community. And there are so many ways you'll hear. There's a longer list of things that you can do to be eligible for this award. The first person that I want to mention, unfortunately, could not join us today, but I really want to recognize him. The first recipient of the Star Scholar Award for this year is Dan Falco. And Dan's been an outstanding student from day one, his faculty mentor said. Double majored in English and history and has now completed the 5-year program in English. He's been a peer educator for the Safe Zone program, and Dan's master's thesis used the lens of trans and queer theory to read a text from the late 19th century. It was original, innovative, and rigorously researched. This person is an academic. I love it. And it bodes extremely well for Dan's plan to pursue a PhD. It's been my pleasure to see Dan develop and come into his own as a student and also embrace his trans identity. And Dan Falco was nominated by Dr. Rachel Hollander. So even in absentia, let's give Dan a hand. This person was such a star scholar. They were nominated separately by 2 different faculty members for this award. They're also a part of the Osnum Scholars Program, which focuses on community service, academic research, and social justice through the lens of Ascension faith. Leslie has completed over 300 hours of service that positively impacts the St. John's community and the various populations we serve. Leslie's caring personality and commitment to serving others empowers others to become better scholars and leaders themselves. Leslie was nominated by Professor Ernest Hodges and by Dr. Chartrice Judson. I happily present this Star Scholar Award to Leslie Al-Hakim. The next Star Scholar was also nominated by 2 different faculty members, whom she approached with the idea of bringing gender-affirming voice care to the St. John's community. She spearheaded an ACEI teaching fellowship under the guidance of her 2 mentors, as well as working with other professors and clinical faculty in communication sciences and disorders. Bringing the university community together to learn about gender diverse care, service delivery models, and advocacy in the field of speech-language pathology. This person's work includes holding various lectures and presentations to educate faculty, students, and alumni on the role of speech and language in gender-affirming care. This person invited other speakers from other institutions, and one of their faculty mentors said, because of Maria's efforts, our clinic director has recently signed a formal contract with the Credit Institute. It's an education and consulting firm founded by A.C. Goldberg, a national leading expert in gender-affirming voice therapy. So they're hopeful that their clinic, the St. John's Speech and Hearing Center, will be able to begin offering gender-affirming voices services this year. And that is such a big deal. I just want to pause, it's not my notes, but that is so incredible for so many reasons that I, as even not a speech language pathologist, can recognize. And her mentors say this is all thanks to Maria. She personifies what it means to leave our community better than she found it. We'd love for her to be formally recognized for her contributions. Maria's graduating with her MA in speech language pathology, by the way, with a 3.98 GPA. And Maria was nominated by Dr. Rebecca Weishart and Dr. Max Freeman. I happily present this award to I'm sorry, that's not right. Is that right? No. Was nominated by Dr. Rebecca Weishart and Dr. Max Freeman. Yes, I happily present this Star Scholar Award to Maria Bianchi. This person is also graduating with a 3.9 GPA, which, wow, I mean, that's basically 4.0. I don't even know how mathematically you could get a 3.9, so we're just rounding up both of these 3.9s to 4.0s. This person will receive a Bachelor of Science degree in journalism with 3 minors, minors in sociology, international studies, and social justice theory. So those of you who know me a little bit, or maybe you know that I work in mass communication here at St. John's and as my general field of study. And so that was our connection. This person was actually a student of mine this semester in a journalism course. And to put it frankly, when I was thinking about what I wanted to say about Alana as a student, is that she just gets it, right? She is the type of student, and I see all the smiles on faculty members' faces because you know exactly what I'm talking about. She is the kind of student who makes me feel like I've done a great job, whether that's not true or not, right? I say, man, those things that people were saying in class, they really get it, right? And Alana is just that student who just gets it. And we, as part of what we do in this class, just to give you a little bit of context for Alana's work, is that I tell students it's important for us to study mass media and popular culture from 3 different perspectives: as consumers, as creators, and as scholars. And this student shines in every one of those capacities, fluidly and eloquently thinking through multiple perspectives, speaking from a grounded understanding of social issues that I wish I had at that age, and exhibiting such a great intellectual and activist tradition in their understanding of social justice. The course, in short, that I worked with Alana in was about narrative, fictional representations of journalists in popular culture. And again, really, this was just a way for me to say I really like watching TV, so we're gonna watch The Morning Show and a bunch of other TV shows, and we're gonna figure out some intellectual stuff to do around that, right? And this was the first time I was teaching this course, and probably largely due to the amazing experience that I had with Alana and her peers, I think it was so successful. Not only did Alana contribute to the course environmentally and in an engaging way, but she gave me so much to think about that has truly shaped and shifted the trajectory of my own research in terms of narratized portrayals of journalists and popular culture, what it is and what it means, and how we can understand the stigmas and the stereotypes of journalism, the industry of news, right? All of these, sorry to do shop talk, but all of these things, right, that are so important to the study and the practice of mass media and mass communication. She wrote this really amazing final paper about a TV show called The Girls on the Bus, which is a new TV show that shows how journalists cover political news. And as I said before, reading this and working with Lana and talking to her about this has given me so much, has enriched my own understanding, my own perspective, and my own research so much. Frankly, she doesn't even know this yet, but speaking of my little hooks that I like to get in people, I have ideas about pitching work that I hope she will want to do with me after this. And so I have such personally and professionally a passion for mass media, for journalism. I think the field of journalism is critically in need of media literate, socially aware, brilliant individuals and media creators that we should all be so lucky to be sending this person out into the industry and into the world to change it for the better, undoubtedly. So I happily present this award, nominated by me, if you didn't figure that part out, to star scholar Alana Campbell.
Allow me to begin by offering my congratulations to you all today. In the excitement of the upcoming days and amidst all of our family and friends celebrating our achievements, that word may lose its meaning just a little bit. But it is my hope that in this moment we may still appreciate it in all of its brilliance, for we have succeeded in spite of so many odds. Throughout our individual journeys, we have faced a myriad of challenges, both external and internal. From the collective upheaval of a global pandemic that marked the beginning of this chapter, to the personal struggles of possibly feeling out of place or unwelcome in the halls of this religious university. Despite it all, we stand, or I guess sit, here together, having come out stronger than we could have ever imagined. So let us take a moment to acknowledge our resilience with a round of applause. I would like to continue by expressing my gratitude to Dr. Candace Roberts for not only nominating me for the Lavender Leader Award, but also for their unwavering support and guidance throughout the past year. Dr. Roberts has been instrumental in fostering a more inclusive and welcoming and connected LGBTQ+ community here at St. John's. Before this year, Outlaws and Allies' presence and participation was limited to the law school. But with Dr. Roberts' exemplary dedication to community building, working tirelessly to integrate our Outlaws and Allies into the broader St. John's community, that reality has changed. I would also like to take a moment to recognize and thank all of the administration and deans who have also been part of that process and making it as smooth as possible. So thank you all. I am deeply thankful for everyone's efforts, as without them, we wouldn't be so connected, nor would we be gathered here today at Lavender Graduation, feeling the genuine support that St. John's extends to its LGBTQ+ students. Now, something very important about this event is the fact that St. John's has not always been a place that has been welcoming or receptive to its queer students, faculty, and staff. When I became involved in Outlaws, I quickly learned from Dean Simons that when our organization was founded in 2007, St. John's University did not permit the existence of an LGBTQ+ affinity group. It was only after persuasive arguments on the importance of discussing the legal issues that affected gay and lesbian Americans that the university finally permitted the Gay and Lesbian Law Association to form. At that time, being associated with GALA was stigmatized, however, especially for closeted students who feared their participation might out them. Now, fast forward 10 years, GALA was renamed Outlaws and Allies, officially becoming an affinity group for LGBTQ students navigating law school. With broader acceptance from LGBTQ folks around the country and on our campus, and the work that all of us have done to advocate for our own rights, Outlaws has thrived. And today we boast the largest membership in our recorded history and have successfully convinced the law school to maintain alumni records, strengthening our networks even further. Now, all of this is to say that when we stand together, we are stronger than we can ever hope to be while we're alone. This maxim still holds true far beyond our own shared communities and identities, however. When we create space to support other marginalized groups in society, we contribute to the collective effort toward greater liberation. So, as we prepare to walk at graduation, I call on all of us here to stand in solidarity with the students in Palestine who won't have the chance to graduate this year, either because their universities have been destroyed or because they have perished. I implore you to lend your voice to amplify the pleas of our Palestinian brothers and sisters for a ceasefire and for an end to the violence that continues to decimate what is left of their land. As the genocide of Palestinians continues, students across the country are arrested for protesting our government's complicity in it. And as a group so familiar with discrimination and marginalization, we must find our humanity and refuse to remain silent in the face of such injustices. Together, we have the power to enact the change that we want in this world. So please use your voice and your privilege to stand for what is right. Now, I will send you off to go forth and be wonderful. Congratulations, class of 2024, and free Palestine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alex, for those really lovely, thoughtful remarks. So the next part is sort of the most important part. We've saved the best for last, which is to recognize all of our graduates who are here today to receive the Lavender Cords. And we give these cords out to recognize all of the wonderful things that we've been talking about. So I want to say, as I said before, last year was our first Lavender Graduation. This is only our second one. But what I did like that the students suggested as they were walking up to get their cords last year, and I feel like we should continue this tradition, and I will invite you all to do so. So just in a couple minutes, I'm going to get the graduates to stand up and come over here with your cards and line up, and then as I call your name, you'll come over here to get a cord. And the invitation is, as previously referred to, this event as a more fun and less serious version of maybe some of the other graduation ceremonies. Last year, our students decided that they would get their cord and then they would walk across our makeshift stage up here in any ways that they chose to do. And so we don't have very many of you graduates here with us tonight, and all of these other people are willing hostages to our ceremony. So what I'm saying is take your time. Should you decide to sashay, should you decide to shante, should you decide to do whatever you want, please start here and walk all the way across proudly and however else you would like to. Funly, brightly, brilliantly, powerfully. I invite you to think of many more adverbs. And so I will ask all the graduates, before you get up, let me give you the instructions. If you don't have a card, if you came in late, just make sure that you grab a card and I'll tell you what to do. And if you do have a card, you can just line up against this wall here, please. Go ahead, get up, go ahead, get in place. And I do want to say quickly before I start announcing the graduates' names, if you need a card and you haven't gotten one, please just write your name and your degree that you're getting on that card. And the person here to my left I want to introduce, who is helping me do this, my doctoral fellow at the LGBTQ+ Center, Daniela Medina Mate, who is currently a doctoral student in psychology, has been instrumental in so many ways, including coming here to help me do this. And so this is certainly not the last that you will see of Daniela, and I really appreciate her helping out. Without further ado, here are your 2024 Lavender graduates. First up, we have Daniel Ramirez Mendez, who's getting a Bachelor of Science in advertising. Yeah. Yay! We have Dominique Sevilla. Who is also getting a Bachelor of Science in Marketing. Dominique, come on up. We have Giselle April. And Giselle is getting a Bachelor of Science in International Management and is a social work minor. All right. Next up, we have Sydney Gustinger.
It's Gustinger, but it's
Gustinger. I'm going to correct it. It's actually Sydney Gustinger, who's getting a Bachelor's of Science in Psychology. Next up, we have Alana Campbell. Handshake. Alana is getting a Bachelor of Science in Journalism. Woo. We have Alexander Gonzalez. You're so decorated.
Thank you.
And Alexander is getting a Juris Doctor. Next up, we have Leslie Al-Hakim. Fist bump. Let's do it. Leslie is getting a Bachelor's Arts in Psychology. One more time, Adam. Shabilsky. Got it. Next up, we have Adam Shabilsky. You look good.
Oh, thank you.
Adam is getting a BS in chemistry, not fashion, as you might think. Next up, we have Chelsea Dawn Witten. Thank you, congrats. Chelsea's getting a BA in psychology and a minor in legal studies. Next up, we have Celine Colon. Thank you. Celine is getting a master's, an MS Ed in mental health counseling. Yay. Next up, we have Amanda Fox. Amanda, thank you. Thanks so much. Congrats. Amanda's getting a bachelor's in psychology. We have so many psychology folks here today. Next up, we have Diana Isenko. Diana, thank you. Congratulations. Diana's getting a master's in speech language pathology. Next up is Maria Bianchi. Thank you so much. Maria's getting a Master of Arts in Speech Language Pathology, as you heard about already. And last but not least, we have Peter Sinnell. Peter, thank you so much. Congratulations. Peter is graduating with a degree in government and politics. And another round of applause for this fantastic group of folks here.